Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope you're all doing well and adjusting well to the new year energies. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. I wanted to check in. It's been some time since the last time I made a video, but right now I'm just doing an oil treatment on my hair and it's wash day for me, and I also have to trim my hair. It's one of my least favorite parts of actually my hair care regimen is trimming my own hair, but I don't want anybody's hands in my hair until my hair gets to a certain length. So for now, I'll be trimming my own hair. But anyway, that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to do a check-in and to share some experiences and insights that I've been having from the end of the year up until now. First thing I wanted to share or talk about is the importance of giving yourself time to adjust to the energies of the new year. I'll say just for myself that 2023 was extremely challenging. It was really challenging. I would say the year 2020 up until 2023 was honestly, these were some of the hardest years I've had since my initial awakening back in 2012. Those were really hard too, because that time was very unfamiliar. I didn't know what was going on, and so much had to change at once. But the years 2020 to 2023 were extra hard because, well, I don't say extra hard. They were also hard because they required a lot of strength from me. They required me to really have confidence and faith in what I felt was right for me and have strong integrity, so I could really stick to what I knew was right and be very solid in that and know that whatever I felt was true for me was the right path. That's not easy. When it's easy when you have everyone cheering you on, but when you don't, it's like really hard. And that's only one of the things that made 2023 really difficult. But it was really extremely challenging, really challenging. I was also in school online for the first half of the year. That presented its own challenges. So I had to, deal with that. It was a lot, just a lot. I mean, it had its good points, but it was really hard. And yet it was also the year that changed everything for me. It marked the end of some really difficult difficult not just experiences, but wounds and beliefs and stuff that I had internally that I had been dealing with for much of my life. So I've overcome a lot of those things. Now, diving into that a little bit more, I just want to share that the healing process can be very difficult to move through. And because of that, you do have to allow yourself some time for recovery because of how difficult it is. Like for me, one of the things that I've had to process recently is like I've had to heal from the healing journey, because the healing journey is not only you sitting in bed or on your yoga mat and processing emotions and reflecting on things. Yes, that is part of it, and time to yourself to really feel into things is important and it's required for this journey. But what makes things extra stressful sometimes is the real life experiences that you have to go through in order to move through certain belief structures that you have that are keeping you from really embodying the truth of who you are. You moving through those belief structures doesn't just happen from you processing emotions in your own time. When you have the time, it happens on a regular basis when you're met with situations that are reflecting what you believe, and you come up against some sort of internal resistance or it triggers something in you, and now you have to work through that in real time, and you have to face things that you're afraid of. I mean, so just imagine how difficult that can be, how anxiety inducing that can be, how emotionally taxing that can be. That journey in and of itself requires healing and recovery because of how much it can take out of you, with all the emotions and things that could come up during that period of healing. So a time of recovery is absolutely required. And for me personally, and I think probably that this was a residual belief system that was kind of making its way out, I had to personally process this feeling that, okay, I went through all of this difficulty, and part of me wants to be grateful that I've overcome it, but I'm having a hard time. You know, I was having a very hard time being grateful for overcoming those obstacles because what I had to process and, just a final end that needed to be, tied, tying up those loose ends was this idea that if I have to struggle and go through a lot of difficulty, um, that I'm kind of like, I don't know how to say this. It's almost like, okay, if I have to struggle and go through all this difficulty to get to the end point, okay, now I'm kind of pissed off that I had to go through that to begin with, you know? So it's like needing to process that feeling, allowing yourself to feel if that's what you're feeling. I don't know if anyone else has felt that way after a long healing journey where you're kind of pissed off that you had to go through so much difficulty to begin with. So allowing yourself to feel that feeling, to really sit in that and come to the understanding in its own organic time that whatever difficulty you had to go through was not because you were being punished or the universe just wants you to struggle. Like, no, you went through a lot of difficulty because there was a lot of stuff there that you needed to move through. It wasn't because you were being tested by some overarching figure or whatever. No, you had a lot of stuff that you were carrying from your ancestral line or what have you, other lifetimes, and that's a lot to move through. So one of the things that I had to process and move past was this idea of that if I have to struggle, it means X, Y, and Z, and that the universe is against me in some sort of way. When it's like, no, it's just this. This is a lot of heavy stuff, so you had to move through it to get to the other side, and that's pretty much it. And the reason why I mention this is that I felt like I wasn't able to be truly grateful for, one, overcoming the obstacles, but also two, where I am now in the space that, everything has shifted. It was hard for me to be grateful for the present moment's blessings if I wasn't able to put down the burden of all the difficulties that I went through throughout the healing journey. So I had to allow myself to kind of feel all of that, to feel that kind of annoyance and kind of being pissed off, and just allow myself to feel it. And honestly, that's all that was required. I just had to really feel it. But what also helped was I was able to go out into nature and really sit with the trees again. The park by me was actually blocked off for some time, so I actually had no access to trees in an area that wasn't on the main road of like Queens Boulevard. So, or something, or some, high traffic area. So it was really hard for me to get that grounding. And because of that, grounding helps you to be present in the moment. So it was really hard for me to really feel present without being fully grounded. So now I was able to get some tree time in, and that helped so much. It helped so much to just have that stability. And from there, once I was able to become present, I was able to celebrate the fact that I went through a difficult time, but I've overcome it. And now I can actually enjoy the fruits of my labor. Where before I wasn't really able to do that because of all the emotional stuff. And this brings me to my next point, that being able to celebrate your achievements is very important. Just like we celebrate any other kind of like achievement in our lives, whether it be a graduation, whether it be a wedding, whether it be a promotion, we celebrate. And the whole point of celebration is to acknowledge that you have achieved a milestone. And when you have achieved that milestone, you're at a different space in your life now. So something has changed. A sweet 16, some sort of maybe a 50th birthday. Something has shifted, and you're in a different chapter of your life now. It's very important to be able to celebrate when we've reached a different point in our lives and a new chapter has begun, because it signals a delineation where we've, accepted that, okay, the past as it was has completed. We've gone through that, and now we're starting a new phase. So we're acknowledging that now we're in a different space, our mind is in a different space, our emotions are in a different space. And so the world, as a response, our personal world, our reality is also, we're going to experience it differently because of that shift internally. So it's very important, I feel, to celebrate those milestones. But as I said previously, there needs to be some time for recovery, to allow yourself to just process everything that you've gone through, to really sit and feel into where you're at now, instead of going, okay, I've gone through this, now let's just jump to the next let's jump to the next phase, let's just jump into the next chapter. Like, no, when you've gone through a difficult time, or just like a really, like a period that required a lot out of you, give yourself some time to really sit and process that, so you could see where you are, see what emotions might still be there, like residual stuff that you need to sit in, move with, process, think about, and allow yourself to sit in that first. And then when you've done that, then you can kind of feel into what the next period of your life is actually like, what it holds for you, and how you can navigate through that. Yeah, and then you can express your gratitude in the present moment for what you have. Okay? So keep that in mind, because I feel like we're still kind of adjusting to the energies of the new year. We're still kind of processing the stuff from 2023. We're still kind of in between worlds. Like, we can feel the new energies coming in for 2024, but we're also still kind of recovering from 2023. So just keep that in mind. And I said this before in my Instagram stories, but I personally feel, maybe it's just for me, but I don't feel like anything is just for one person. If it's for me, it must be for other people too, even if it's not everybody. But keep an eye and ear out for the week of January 11th. That feels to be a big, important week. So the few days before and the few days after. I didn't realize, I had to check, but it's actually the day of the new moon is January 11th. So just keep an eye out for around that time of the month of January. It feels like we're going to have like an influx of new energies coming in at that time, and it may shift things in a new direction in some sort of way. Yeah, because I'm seeing like choose a new direction. So something might open up, like maybe a new partnership, or maybe like a business partnership, or something feels like it's going to open up for some people around that time. So just keep an awareness. Oh, Alexa, turn off the timer. So just keep an awareness of that time period as we move forward throughout the month. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it. I have to wash this out now. So I send you all so much love, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.